Okay, so we've got what should have happened and we've got what did happen. Now, if you look at this, credit bank should have happened and credit bank did happen. So I'm going to put a little tick by both of them because that is actually correct. We should have credited the bank and we did. However, we credited the electric expense and we should have actually debited it. So if you were to think now, your electric expense T account has got an entry on the credit side currently because you credited electric expense. So it's got an entry on the credit side. So does everybody agree to make that actually what we want it to be, which is debit 2,500? We would actually need to debit it twice. Because one debit would cancel out the credit. So we would need to do the second debit to actually put into place debit electric expense 2,500, which is exactly what we wanted it to be. So what we've effectively done there is debit electric expense. Now it's up to you. You can either write 5,000 or you can do it twice. Okay, but again, you're in this situation that you've corrected everything now, so this all equals correct. However, we can't just do debit and debit. We've got £5,000 worth of debits there. The credit is going to go to the suspense and the credit will be 5,000, or you could write credit 2,500. Credit 2,500. Okay. Okay, next one then, we've got unequal amounts. So a rent payment was correctly posted to the rent expense account as £1,100, but incorrectly posted to the bank as £1,000. So what happened? We debited rent expense and they said that was the correct amount of 1,100. We paid it from the bank, but what we did is instead of saying that we paid 1,100, we actually credited the bank with 1,000. Okay, so that's what happened. What should have happened though is the debits and credits should have been the same, shouldn't they? So we should have debited rent expense, credited the bank with 1,100. Okay, so look at the information you've got again. Debit rent expense 1,100, debit rent expense 1,100. That is right, isn't it? Okay. However, we have credited the bank with 1,000 and we should have credited it with 1,100. So if you were to think of your T account here for bank, you've currently credited with £1,000 on the credit side. So to make it what we want it to be, we need an additional £100 on the credit side. So we're going to credit the bank with £100. Okay, because if we do that, that now gives us 1,100 on the credit side, which is what we want. Where will the other half of the double entry go? We will be debiting suspense £100. Okay, this one is a calculation error, but when you're balancing your T account. So, you know, when you do your process of you add up your debit side, you add, so T account, add up the debit side, add up the credit side, put your balances brought down and carried down in. This is thinking about that process being done incorrectly. So the sales ledger control account has not been correctly balanced. It should show £1,200 on the sales ledger control account instead of 700. The corresponding credit entries were correctly included. Okay, so what's happened here is in your trial balance, Okay, if you imagine you've got a list of stuff, so electric would be on the debit side, sales would be on the credit side, okay. The sales ledger control account has been included at £700 due to this process not being done correctly. So you're being told here that it should show £1,200. So how would you make that figure £1,200? Well, we would need to, if you think about your T account, it's £700 on the debit side. To make it £1,200, we would further debit £500. So our double entry would be debit sales ledger control account £500. Where's the other half? Because you've been told the corresponding credit entries were correctly included. So the other half has got to be credit suspense £500.